Hello and welcome everyone to the new show called Women Who Inspire. And today is the first episode, and we have Ashlee Espinosa with us. She is an educator, actor, and a coach to the world. But for me, if I had to combine everything, I would say she's a true inspiration to the world. So, Ashlee, tell me a little bit about yourself and your work.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for having me. The words that you just said really bring heart and joy to me and the work that I'm doing. And I just thank you for saying that.
You're welcome.
Um, Thank you. A little bit about me. I've been a college professor. I've been a content creator. I'm a coach. I'm all the things that you said. And something that I've been really passionate about lately, especially the past year when everything has kind of been readjusted for us, is to be able to educate folks and create content that people from all over the world can learn how to better their online teaching methods,
Hmm.
to form better, to do all of these wonderful things that sometimes people don't have access to.
Right, right.
And just by doing that on my YouTube channel, it's allowing them something to learn and to intake without really them costing a lot of money other than, internet and a cell phone or a laptop. So that's been my goal really the past year.
Absolutely. And I was watching one of your YouTube stories where I heard a very inspiring message that you were giving to everyone, which is if you're scared, don't be. If you're scared of push a button, if you're scared of submitting that blog post, recording that video, talking at a conference, don't be. Because all you have to think is just one thing, that whatever I'm doing, is that going to help one person? If that, even if it helps that one person, then that's it. The goal is achieved. So I really love that. So thank you so much for that. And with that, that brings us to the next question, that how did you come into this industry? Like what motivated you? How did you come into the current field? Could you share a bit of background?
Yeah, absolutely. Fear literally was what led me to this. The fear that I have as an actor my entire career of performing really propelled me into creating content online because we are all in a world now where we have to do things like you and I are doing from other ends of the world.
Absolutely.
And being on screen like this, it's even right now, I'm sure we're both like a little like, nervous as well. And I kind of jumped into this industry the past couple of years because of my relationship with performing and knowing what it was like
Hmm.
to, be on a stage and to put yourself out there.
Hmm.
And that's something that I feel as an actor, I have a little bit more of training from behind the scenes. So I
You
hope
could
that
share that
that,
with the world.
yeah, that's it. See, I didn't even need to say it. You said it for me.
Absolutely, absolutely. In fact, you and I kind of think alike. So I'm constantly pushing myself and putting myself into a difficult situation, because that's what's going to help you grow, right? If you stay in your comfort zone, you'll be whatever you were earlier, right? But if you have to go, you have to grow, then you have to come out of that comfort zone, isn't it?
Absolutely. And I think I saw that you play some music, you
Yeah,
sing.
absolutely. Yep. I play guitar. In fact, I have done the degree from Trinity College of London. So I've taken degree in music. I can read music. I have an ear for music, so I can listen to it and I can play as well. I used to teach for 4 years in Mumbai.
I saw that. That's so wonderful. I think as a musician and an artist, there's something a little bit different about us that we share that ability to just create something and go, I'm just going to share it with the world and hopefully it helps someone out there.
I agree. And I think most people have some or the other quality which is unique only to them. All it matters is that if they can think of it like what is that quality and bring that out, it could really turn into something really good, right? Okay.
Absolutely. I agree with you 100% on that because that's the problem that people have.
Mhm.
I do this thing, but how do I do it differently than the other person? What's unique about me? So I agree with you.
True. Now, one thing that really inspires and also pops up a question in my head. I see that you're multi-talenting, right? You're a multi-talented person. You're an actor, director, dancer, educator, and more. A common question that comes to my anyone's mind, I would say, that how do you do so many things? Where do you get the time to do that?
That's a good question. I think what I have discovered in my life is I've almost this word that we're developing of a creative entrepreneur or an online entrepreneur, we're seeing that quite often lately. That's kind of been my entire life. It's, from one job to the next because that's how we work as an actor.
Mhm,
And so to me, it feels normal
mhm,
to have all of these other things that I do. Today I was meeting with people working on performing in musical theater. And then I was working with someone that sings with a band that we're working on a pop song. And then I was helping coaches create their online course and working with as a consultant for people in social media. I feel like I just say, what do I want to do right now? What work do I want to create? How do I want to help folks? And then on the other end, what's inspiring to me?
mhm,
Because if I'm not inspired to do that work, then I kind of find a way to navigate, away from it. And that's what I did the past couple of years. I was a full-time faculty professor
mhm.
and I wasn't fulfilled. And so I kind of pivoted. And so I just kind of find time to kind of do whatever makes me happy in that moment. So the people that I am helping, I can give it my 100% rather than the opposite of that.
Right. So something that you're passionate about. So I would say that you're doing one thing at a time, not everything at a time. And so that's what looks to people that, okay, how is that person able to do so many things? It's just that some people, even including myself, there's so many things in the world to do, right? Not just being specific to one thing, like just one job. They could be music, they could be some activities that we want to do in life. So that what motivates us, that's what we're passionate about. So yeah, I agree to you completely. Now that brings us to the next question, that what is important in the online content creation? Could you please share some of the best practices?
Yeah, I think the most important thing is whatever online content that you're creating, you have to be passionate about. I
Right.
mean, I watched through some of your content on YouTube and I can tell you were extremely passionate about, what you were teaching and that comes through. And so, first most important thing, whatever you're creating content around, you have to be passionate, you have to
True.
love it,
True.
and it has to be something that you could talk about for hours and hours and hours on end. That is the most important because I'm sure you can understand this, but we
Absolutely,
get
I
burned
agree.
out,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Burnout is real, it happens. So being passionate about it, I think that's the first part of it. And then just doing it. You're never going to have the right time, the right money, the right equipment, the right setup. I mean, I'm literally remodeling my entire office to make it more efficient. And
Hmm.
I've set up a little mobile area for all my work today.
Yeah, I love your setup, by the way. Absolutely. Absolutely. I just love it. Which brings me to the next question, that what kind of tools or software do you currently use for your content creation? I think everyone wants to hear that. It's so professional.
It's I did a post today on I did a whole story prior to this actual interview on Instagram. It was like 10 steps the life of the or an adventure in a content creator, and one of them was I do everything. I film it, I edit it, I produce it, I do everything. And so it looks like I have like a massive setup and I would show you, but I don't have anything set up right now. I have it all torn
That's all right.
down,
I
but
think we'll point and direct our viewers to your YouTube channel where you're actually showing it.
yes. And it doesn't take a lot of fancy equipment. I do now have fancy equipment because as an actor and a performer and an educator, I already had great cameras and lighting, and I already kind of had that background.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, I use Filmora X to edit all my content because it's not as challenging or time consuming as, Premiere Pro or any of the fancy ones,
Hmm.
but it's better quality than all of the basic ones.
Right.
And I use a lot of cameras. Like I use a good DSLR camera. I have a 4K camera that I use for my course content.
Mhm.
Like the camera I'm using right now, literally, is my cell phone, and I have an
Wow.
app. Right.
Wow. I
So
think
it's just
that's the worry of
versatile.
for most people, that can I have that kind of professional setup? But the truth is that you can have many free softwares that are available. Like for a video, you can have a camera for the mobile phone, and which is really good, right? And then you have some free softwares that you can use. So yeah, I will put the link in the description for one of your videos where you've shared that information and that can help our audience learn that. Right. Could you also share one of the most interesting work that you've done so far in your current field?
Interesting work. It's so hard because I feel like
You
all
do
of the
so many
work
things, isn't it? It's hard to
that
say.
it is. And I always make sure that now in my life that I pick projects that I'm passionate about. If I do anything in my day now, I make sure that I am really, really interested in doing it because I'm kind of at that point, in my career that the people, like even our interview right now, I was really interested in speaking with you and collaborating with you. And that's because it's something that I'm passionate about or interested in. I make sure that's a really big focus of my life right now, but it took a while to get to that point. So interesting, interesting, interesting. I directed a production of Little Women a few years ago at
Okay.
a local college. And it was really interesting because the group of women that I was working with,
Hmm.
all of the sisters were cast with different people from all over, different cultures. One was, a black woman, one was someone that was
Wow.
Hispanic. So it was all the sisters were completely diverse. And it was really fascinating to hear what the audience response was to that. And it created a dialogue. And that's something we're really working on in our industry as theater and musical theater folks is being an inclusive community to support,
Right.
all people. So that was really interesting.
Right. And I think it's really, really inspiring to bring people from different culture and tradition together to do that one thing. And I think it's really beautiful. Thank you for sharing that with us. So I see that passion is one of the things that motivates you. What are the other things that motivates you to do what you're doing currently?
I think a big one is to really utilize musical theater as a cultural change and shift,
Hmm.
because that's where we are in a world right now. To have more women being focused on, to have different cultures represented, and to really focus on a community of people that are supported rather than what we've really seen in our past, which is a very one dimensional, European focused, white man-centric focused culture in our industry. So that is something I'm really passionate about. And important right now is the idea of having folks from all over the world have access to training.
Okay.
That is something that we're seeing a lot. People can't afford college. There are people that can't get to a college for what
Yeah.
reason. And so if I can help them online, like I work with people all over the world in musical theater because, they can click on their phone and
Yeah.
have a
That's
training.
easily accessible and it's free as well. So that's really good. Working for a
Yeah.
really good cause, I must say. I'm truly inspired, and I'm sure everyone, including the women in the all over the world, are truly inspired with your work.
Mm.
So let's have a fun question as well. What do you spend most on? Clothes, perfume, or jewelry?
None.
None, really.
No, I invest so much in myself with like learning. I take courses all the time. I'm always training. I spend more on my voice teacher than I think I do in my clothes because
Okay.
especially now it's only like half up.
Yeah. Sometimes we are wearing completely different attire down at the bottom.
Yes, it's all comfy and everything. So, no, I don't I'm very much quality versus quantity. So, I don't buy a lot of things. Like even the earrings I have on right now, they're from Etsy. They're, handmade. Everything I buy is very simple and effective and reusable. So, I don't really spend a lot of money on that part, but power to those people that do.
All right. Awesome. So could you tell me what is the message that you like to give to the women in the world?
Ah, follow your dreams. Follow your heart and do what you really want to do in life, even if somebody says you can't do it.
Wow. Wow. That's beautiful. That's a beautiful message to everyone. Thank you so much, Ashlee, for being part of the show. And I'm sure this is going to inspire a lot of women and even other people in the world. And yep, let me know where can people follow you if they want to follow you and look at your work and learn from you. How can they do that?
You can go to my website, which is ashleeespinosa.com. And then my socials are Ashley Lynn Espinosa. On YouTube, of course, I'm Ashlee Espinosa. Pretty much just type in Ashlee Espinosa and it's kind of around there. But if you head to my website, ashleeespinosa.com, you can find everything about me there.
Thank you so much, Ashley, once again for coming to the show and being part of this entire beautiful session that we have. So thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. I truly appreciate the time.
You're welcome.